I was sitting around, listening to some music, and got myself asking a simple question: why does modern music suck? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all music produced today is bad, but when I look at my record shelves, I realize that almost all the records I own are from artists and bands that were formed before 2000s. Does that mean that bands formed after that are bad? Not at all. There are talented people out there making great music. I'm a musician myself and I'd like to think I'm part of that group. But year after year, it feels like the number of truly interesting new bands keep getting smaller. I tried to figure out what's going on and found three key points that might explain it. This video will be a bit different from the usual stuff on this channel. It's more like a short podcast. Just me, my SM7B mic, and you. That's gonna be something like thought-sharing process. You can agree with my points or strongly disagree, that's totally fine. Let's try this format out, and if I see that you enjoy it, I will try to make more videos like this. And the point number one is production for the masses. Modern music, films, and art in general are no longer made for expression first. They are made for maximum reach. Today, most mainstream art isn't asking, is this honest or does this say something new? It's asking, will this work for everyone? Music gets simplified, lyrics become safer, sounds get familiar, not because they are timeless, but because they are proven. Because the industry doesn't want to take risks anymore. And when success is measured in streams, watch time, and algorithm approval, creativity slowly starts to bend around those numbers. Songs are written to grab you in the first 10 seconds. Everything has to be instantly understandable, instantly shareable, and instantly disposable. And if it's too strange, too slow, too uncomfortable, or too honest, it often just gets filtered out before it even reaches people. That's why certain words get avoided, certain ideas get softened, certain emotions get reduced to something more acceptable. Let me tell you a quick story. A musician friend of mine once made a track and decided to film a music video for it. The idea was simple, a bit surreal, and honestly kind of fun. Two guys are walking through a forest. They ate some mushrooms and started tripping. And during this trip, they began to see strange animals around them. Actually, it were real people wearing animal masks. Even I was there in a wolf mask. At some point, these animals started chasing the main characters, trying to catch them. It's weird, but fun. So the video gets finished and my friend tries to run ads for it on YouTube, and Google rejects it. The reason they gave was there is a rabbit shooting at a man with a toy gun. You see, the system didn't care about context, symbolism or intent. And that moment stuck with me because it perfectly shows how art is created today. It's not asking what the artist is trying to say, it's just checking whether it fits the rules. And when artists know that in advance, they start censoring themselves before the system does. They simplify ideas, they avoid certain images or words just because they want their work to survive. And this isn't just a music thing, you see, it's everywhere, movies included. Over Christmas, I rewatched Die Hard because, let's be honest, it's a Christmas movie and it hit me again. Why a movie made 30 years ago still feels more alive, more emotional than so many movies being released today. And that's what I mean by production for the masses. When you are making things not to express something, but to make sure they fit the rules first. Thus, creativity turns into some kind of optimization. Risky ideas disappear, the safest choices rise to the top, and art becomes a product designed to pass checks, not to raise questions. Creativity stopped being the priority. That's my point. Moving on, and the second point is age and experience. As you get older, fewer things truly can surprise you. Not because new music is automatically worse, but because you've heard more, you've lived more, and you've already seen certain ideas. Maybe not this exact melody, not these exact sounds, but the feeling, the structure, and the idea behind it, it sounds familiar. And that's not a failure of the artist, that's just experience. Let me explain. When I visited a rock concert for the first time ever, I was impressed. The lights over the stage, the live sound, the rhythm and the energy of the crowd, everything felt new, inspiring, almost unreal. It truly felt like magic back then. But over the years, I kept going to concerts again and again. And at some point, something changed. That magic slowly disappeared. Not because the band got worse, but because I knew what to expect. I had already seen the lights, heard music played live, and felt that energetic mood in the crowd. The experience wasn't bad, it just wasn't surprising anymore. And I think the same thing happens with music at all. When you are younger, everything feels different. A new band can change your entire personality. A song can feel like it was written just for you. But over time, your internal library gets bigger, patterns become easier to spot, you start recognizing the formula, the reference, the influence. And when you combine that with an industry that already plays it safe, that already repeats what works, the sense of déjà vu gets even stronger. And that's the tricky part. Experience just raises your expectations. You are no longer reacting emotionally first, you are analyzing even when you don't want to. Your brain starts connecting dots automatically, comparing new things to everything you have already heard. So, for something to truly surprise you now, it has to work harder or take a bigger risk. And those risks are exactly what modern mainstream music is less and less willing to take. So, maybe modern music hasn't lost all its magic. Maybe they have just become harder to surprise. And that's actually not a bad thing. That's just the price of experience. And this brings us to the third thing I want to talk about. Good new bands aren't disappearing, they are just getting lost. Today's music production is ridiculously easy. You don't need a studio, you don't need expensive gear, you can make a track on an iPad. AI tools can generate music for you with just a few prompts, and that changes everything. There's an insane amount of new music being released every single day. According to industry data, roughly around 120,000 new tracks are uploaded to streaming services each day. It's more music in a single day now than was released in the entire year of 1989. It's amazing, there are so many voices, so many ideas, but it's also overwhelming too, because when there are hundreds of thousands of new songs every day, your favorite real games get buried under millions of garbage. A huge chunk of these daily uploads barely gets listened to at all. In fact, nearly half of all songs available on streaming platforms were played 10 times or fewer over an entire year. That means artists with real talent, real potential, they are there, but it's hard to find them. And because of that, discovery has completely changed. We aren't looking for new bands anymore, we wait for algorithms to introduce them to us. But algorithms don't look for depth, emotion or originality, they look for patterns that already work. So artists who sound familiar get pushed forward, while artists who sound different often stay invisible. For listeners, this creates fatigue. You scroll, you skip, you forget. Everything starts blending together, even if some of it's actually great. Discovery doesn't feel organic anymore, it feels filtered. So the problem isn't that there aren't enough good bands anymore. There's too much noise around them. When everyone can release music instantly, attention becomes the rarest resource. And a lot of great artists never get the chance to be heard properly. So when you put all of this together, it starts to make sense. On one side, you have an industry that increasingly produces for the masses. Art shaped by rules, algorithms, and safety. On the other side, you have listeners with more experience, higher expectations, and a deeper internal library. And then, on the top of all that, you have overwhelming noise. More music than ever before, more creators than ever before. All of this creates a strange balance where nothing is broken, yet nothing feels special. Music keeps playing, but fewer moments really stay with you. The volume goes up, while the impact goes down. I'd really like to hear your thoughts on this topic. Does music still work the same way for you as it used to? Share in the comments how do you discover new music today, and let me know if there are any other points we should add here. Thanks for watching and good luck.